All right, thanks for tuning in today, guys. Today I had a guest on, Patrick, first guest appearance, the owner of the Tim Dillon Discord server, and also a man of many talents as well. We had a great time just talking to each other, shooting the shit. My voice quality is really bad on this one because I was recording directly into Discord. I'm going to figure out a way to do it better next time. Thanks. Enjoy.
This just in, you are looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
Going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe. It's all there. Life is fiery with its beauty, its incredible detail. Tuning into it, they want to shatter your mind. Talking about Justin Bieber.
Makes the catch. Ball game over. World Series over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Where just like that, when someone comes up and says something like, I am a god, everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was. A god.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
I know. Yeah. All right. So, this is it.
Go. This is it.
Start
so
it
we're,
off.
we're live. We're recording. This is the first Discord recording, voice chat I got here. This is Kai, and I'm with my new buddy Patrick from Arkansas. He's the owner and main operator of Tim Dillon Show Discord. So this is kind of how I started getting into talking about like wanting to just do podcasts and chatting with people all across the globe. And yeah, Patrick, man, so I'm glad to have you. Tell me a little bit about how you got this channel started. First of all, a little bit background about you as well.
Awesome, man. No, thanks for having me on. Love the show. Love the energy that you bring. We got Norton here too. Wow. Okay, jumping in mid episode.
Let's go.
Yeah. Basically, this podcast Discord was created in September of 2020. A friend of mine and I were in another server together. That was for a different podcast, and we both noticed that Tim Dillon didn't have an official podcast, and thought that there was a lot of fans of his show, and they would like a place to talk and share Patreon episodes, which is kind of what we became known for, which was just stealing content from other comedians that we liked, and that's been our main driving growth factor. We've grown to over 2,700 members just from growing through being like, hey, you like this show, like come get the RSS feed or come get like the unlisted YouTube videos for free from these content creators. So there's a lot of people in the server that don't even listen to Tim Dillon, but they just like comedy in all different forms. And we've got a lively general chat as well, with a lot of different members that come in and they come out, and they leave their mark on the server, and sometimes their names get re-mentioned over and over again, even though they've been banned. So it's a lot of fun here.
Yeah. Wow. Rest in peace, Stacy. Am I right?
Yeah. There's a lot of people, man. There was a guy his name was Chaz, Secretary of Defense. Do you remember when the Chaz was blowing up back in like 2020?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there was a guy in the server that was like his name was like he was like the Secretary of Defense, and he was like joining the military. He was like talking up like how scared he was about going to boot camp and stuff like that, and then just never came back. Yeah, just another one bites the dust.
And was he actually joining like the U.S. military or like the
Yeah.
You guys started this channel. What do you call it? Like peak COVID, September.
Oh yeah.
And,
Yeah. This was definitely a COVID project. This was just something where me and my friend were in another server. We were just messing around on Discord. We were in a server for the Joe Budden podcast, which is like a hip hop rap
Okay.
community.
Okay.
And he was currently an admin over at the Legion of Skanks server, so he was aware of like the comedy like Discord scene and knew that there wasn't space for one, like there wasn't a Tim Dillon one, and that's kind of where it was just, hey, fun little project, right? Peak COVID, let's just do something for fun. And yeah, now it's like one of the biggest comedy servers, which is crazy.
It is, and I love it, man. It's funny because whenever COVID hit, everything went virtual, and I didn't really buy
Mm.
into it for the first while. I was doing some of my AA and NA meetings online on Zoom, but this is a whole nother thing, man. I mean, talking to people literally that live in like fucking what, Mike's in Spain, you're in Arkansas,
Yep.
we got a guy in Toronto, and yeah, it's
Yeah, the other
fucking
guy I built
wild.
the server with is in LA. We got some
Okay.
people in Denmark on the mod team as well. Yeah, other people just in various states across the country too. We just have a really diverse thought group here. You can get like questions answered about pretty much any culture firsthand. There was a time when I was drunk in the server and I like added everyone and I said like, is there anyone here that's Chinese? And we actually had a few Chinese people in the server. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, out of 2,700 members, I mean, shit.
Yeah, I was surprised. I honestly didn't expect any Chinese people to be talking here, but they were, and we I think we made fun of them, or I don't remember, something stupid.
That's crazy. So 2,700 members. How many does like the Joe Budden and the Legion of Skank server have? Do we know?
Yeah, so the Joe Budden server I used to be a part of, I grew it to 4,500 members, so that was a massive project, which was a lot of fun, but it took a lot to get there. And the Legion of Skank server is sitting at around like under 2,000, I believe, and Kill Tony, I think, is like 2,200 members. So like some of the we are one of the largest comedy servers for sure.
I love it. I love that, man. How did you hear about Discord?
Great question. I heard about it as a company that was in the tech space, and it was like kind of operating a Slack competitor that was focused on gaming. So
Okay.
I joined Discord in like 2016. Didn't really do much with it. I was a part of Facebook at the time. I was really big on Facebook, so I was one of the creators of the largest like indie game developer groups on Facebook. So like a groups focused on like individuals or small teams that create video games, basically
Right.
for either hobby or for profit. That group had like over 100,000 members in it, and we had a Discord channel that I think's at like 2,000 now. So I joined to like kind of help out with that, but really didn't do much on the platform until COVID, and started really like getting involved in like the podcast scene, just like listening to podcasts, and then going on Reddit for that. And then from there, I was able to find Discord links for the Joe Budden podcast, and then really got sucked into like the Discord ecosystem from there and started joining servers for different interests and hobbies. But what about you? How did you get involved in Discord?
Yeah, man. I mean, so like I heard about Discord, I think through what was that sound? Are we good? Hello?
Oh, I think someone joined. Oh, but they're
Oh,
muted, so you're good.
okay.
Yeah,
So you can
we're
hear me.
yep,
Okay, good.
yep, I am.
So
Yep,
with Discord, I heard about it originally, I think when I was into NFTs and like Bitcoin, Ethereum and shit,
yep,
I heard about it from that, and I think I joined one or two servers, and I wasn't really having that much fun with it. And at the same time, I was really into the Tim Dillon show. Just I don't even know. Probably heard about him from Joe Rogan, but I was so into the Tim Dillon show, and then I think I just Googled like Tim Dillon Discord, or it came on my Twitter feed or some shit. It just kind of popped up somewhere, and it's been fun, man. I don't really interact with many other servers at all. I'm very lightly in the one for dry alcoholics, and then one for the Kill Tony, but I barely go in Kill Tony at all. I really just talk to you guys the most. I'm honestly, I came in as a huge fan of the Tim Dillon show specifically. I know a lot of people you said are just kind of, some of them are just comedy fans in general. Some of them watch Tim Dillon show, some of them don't. Um,
yep,
and it's just grown for me, man, because I live and work alone from home, and so kind of gives me a little outlet on the computer, at least when I'm not out in the real world. And a lot of
Yep.
interesting cats that I've met, man. I mean, because comedians are, most of them are fucking sick and twisted and crazy, demented people, and
For
like
sure.
people in that world, I can just identify with them. I mean, even talking as back far as Robin Williams, all the way to like people who aren't even necessarily comedians, but creative people too. Anthony Bourdain, Mac
Hmm.
Miller, like people that are
Yep.
just, and they have that, they kind of know that dark side of the struggle. And so Tim Dillon, obviously being a recovering alcoholic drug addict, same with his producer Ben. And so I
Yeah.
just can relate to a lot of what they say, and it's fucking comedy, and it's great. And a lot of the people on the server, what I like about it is we have the same comedy taste. So we kind of have the same sense of humor, right?
Yep.
Versus somebody who, and actually they were talking about this on Rogan and Tim's episode with Joe Rogan yesterday. I was listening to it. They were literally saying how if you listen to SNL, you're in a different world comedically. You're in that world. You're in, that world with the wokeness and the suits. And um if you watch SNL every Saturday night, you probably don't know who the fuck Tim Dillon or Shane Gillis are, right? And so this is my type of comedy. I love it.
Yep.
I'll send it to people sometimes, and they don't really understand why I think it's hilarious, and that's not for them to understand, man. When you love something so much, like I do with working out or comedy or podcasts, I want other people to experience it and love it with me, but it's just not the way it works. My best friend, I'm going to be a groomsman at his wedding next month. He loves NASCAR. Like that's his fucking thing. And he's always trying to get me to, watch this race or read this article or uh, about the history of NASCAR. And I mean, it's interesting as fuck because I just learned yesterday listening to Rogan and Dylan again. They talked about NASCAR and it started with North Carolina mountain boys running moonshine from cops. And so that's a really interesting way it started. That's kind of off topic, but I do live in the North Carolina mountains.
For
Um,
sure.
so just going off on a little rant there. But yeah, anyways,
No, you're
man,
good.
like
Yeah. This
I
is
love it,
interesting.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. It's all interesting shit. And uh I wanted to kind of yeah, it's awesome that we're not even doing like a fucking script, dude. We're just kind of here
Just
talking
talking,
about
man.
whatever. Yeah,
Just
that's
shooting the
literally.
shit.
Well, so
Yeah.
that's the thing. I was actually in the shower today and I was thinking about, in the shower today, probably first time in a week, but I was thinking about the things that I used to make myself. I used to have to do these certain things when I was younger, when I was in my active addiction. I used to um from anywhere. I used to have to go to New York to visit, or I used to have to join the military, or I used to have to um get laid by this one specific girl, or I would have to uh fucking use drugs. I used to have to get high,
Yep.
and or I used to have to be a rapper, and all these
Yep.
things that I used to force.
And then
And
when it didn't work out, you would eventually look to the substances for like the comfort, right?
well, every
Yep.
time. And the podcasting is the opposite. I don't have to podcast. I like to do this. It's just
Absolutely.
fun. That's
Just
what I
a
was gonna
good
say.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Dude, speaking of those like comedy circles, so funny.
Mm.
Are you familiar with server rating on Discord? Like rating?
Mm-mm.
It's technically against like the terms of service, but basically the idea is that you get like a bunch of people from one server to join another server and just kind of, I hate to use the word harass, but you just start making fun of the other people. And we almost did that with the SNL server on accident.
Oh fuck.
Because about maybe like 6 months ago, I don't know if you're aware that Michael Che, SNL Weekend Update comedian, was
Yeah.
having a little bit of beef with Tim Dillon.
Right. Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, so it was like a whole thing on Instagram. Podcast scene was torn up about it. People were taking sides. Crazy. I realized that Michael Che didn't have a Discord server. But SNL had like a Discord server that like kind of encapsulated all the members. But I was like, let me just make a Michael Che fan club. And I just found the photo of him looking like the drunkest and fattest possible.
That's great, dude.
Like made like different like SNL channels and then got a bunch of people from here to join. And then
Oh, just like a troll channel.
Yeah. And then we posted it in the official like SNL Reddit and was like join the Michael Che Discord fan club. And like some of the fans did, and like we were talking with them and they like didn't realize it was a joke, and we were just making fun of them. And then like someone asked like who's your favorite SNL member? All time and alum. And I said, well, all time or current. And I said, all time it's Norm Macdonald, and current probably Shane Gillis. And they were like, "Oh man, like wasn't that the guy that got fired for being racist?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, he's the funniest." And
He's the
they didn't
best
like
one.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did not like that. Yeah,
Oh my God. No, they can't have Shane Gillis. He's a real comedian. These other people, Michael Che, whoever they have, these talentless people. I mean, some of them have talent, whatever, but dude, they can't handle Shane.
no,
He's a real
no,
comic.
no. And I wonder, like, if if the Michael Che Discord server is still up. I just went to Live from New York, which is the name of the SNL subreddit, which is fucking disgusting. I guess SNL wasn't available. Um, yeah, and I don't think it exists anymore. But that, man, I wonder if it's still kicking because I like transferred the ownership to like one of the legit members, and I ended up leaving. So maybe it like formed a life of its own. Crazy.
That is
But
something you should look into.
you did like remote like AA meetings like over Zoom.
So yeah, I did. It was wild, man. Whenever the pandemic started, I used to go to, well, before the pandemic started, I went to NA and I went to the men's meeting every Monday night because I don't really feel like getting clean and talk about my feelings in front of a bunch of pussy because that's, a whole
Yeah.
nother demon. But we started a Zoom meeting and I was the chairperson for a bit. And, it'd be like that. I'd be at my house chairing meetings. And then there was some interesting shit, man, because you could literally join a meeting anywhere in the world. Like you could go to a meeting in fucking Jamaica, like if you wanted to, and just hop on Zoom. So definitely interesting. There was a also 24-hour NA meeting that started around the world internationally. You could jump on whenever, and they were having a meeting, and that was pretty dope. And it definitely saved a lot of lives. But if you were just getting sober when the pandemic started and you didn't get to go to real meetings in person, you had to do the virtual shit. I can't imagine how hard that must have been, bro, because human interaction is right, like the opposite of addiction is connection. It's said on every fucking TED talk, but it's true. And to not be able to like fucking hug somebody or you know make
Yeah.
coffee for somebody or give somebody a round of applause when they pick up a 30-day chip, it's like it's different. Um, so
Yeah.
I don't always like to use the words better or worse comparing things
Totally.
because comparison is like the thief of happiness or whatever they say. But I think that it was a little bit worse in that sense. But again, it did save some lives for sure. It was somewhere for people to go to. God bless that 24-hour meeting. And yeah, man.
And crazy. Yeah, because I only know about like AA, like and that stuff, like through my father. So I've always like kind of
Mm.
associated it as like and like an older group of people. Because I've gone to meetings with him, and like the average age is like mid 60s.
It's
So
funny
at
you
your
said that.
meetings, are you like the younger? Like, what's it like for you?
Yeah, man. So I grew up going to meetings like so. What your dad is he an AA or was grow up in
He
AA?
is. Yeah. So he was basically recovering alcoholic, like really addicted to cocaine and shit. But this was all before I was born. So he
Okay,
got clean. He started getting chips. Probably about 3 years before I was born. So he's
good
been
for him.
sober for 29 years at this point.
Dude, fuck yeah. I love to
Yeah.
hear it, man. No, so yeah, there's first of all, there's a bunch of different 12-step groups that I've attended. I've been to SAA, Sex Addicts Anonymous. I've been to Al-Anon. I've been to Codependence Anonymous. I've been to AA. I've been to NA. I've been to
Yep.
CAA, Coke Addicts Anonymous. I have the book I'm looking at right now, Adult Children of Alcoholics. I have all those. I've been to all those meetings. I've even
Mm.
been to like the Refuge Recovery, which is basically a Buddhist way for addiction and Yeah, where I'm from in Charlotte, originally North Carolina, there's a huge community of AA. And so the AA is kind of the way to go if you're in Charlotte, but here in the town I live in now, it's kind of NA. NA is more of the scene. So grew up going to AA, and there was, most of your meetings have older white racist men, and then the meetings that kind of trickled off, some people started are young people. And there's actually in the AA community, Alcoholics Anonymous, there's a word called YPA, and it's young people in AA. And they have huge meetings, huge conferences. The meeting in Charlotte was called QCPA, Queen City Young People in AA. And you'd have like 16-year-olds in there, 20-year-olds in there, um, all different walks of life. Some of them were, maybe real heroin addicts. Some of them, maybe they got caught smoking weed in their college dorm and their parents sent them to AA. So there was a lot of different walks of life, but they have a
Yeah.
conference every year for AA, or for YPA, for young people in AA. And we went to, they called it the FICIPA, or the ICIPA, yeah, ICIPA, International Convention for Young People in AA. Me and like 8 of my alcoholic friends in Charlotte drove to New York for this convention, talking like 1,000, 2,000 people in a hotel. All, well, probably some of them were using or drinking, but most of us were sober. There was meetings, there was like speakers, there was all different shit, people talking, giving their testimonies. So that was pretty cool. We did that, and then I chaired a lot of meetings in Charlotte, and then being here in Asheville, just it's a lot of NA. So a lot of young people in the NA. They do volleyball on Sundays. That was my crew for a while, but then the pandemic, man, everything went virtual. Now it's back to in person, but I haven't really found my way back into the rooms just yet. Doing well
You
though.
should, man. It sounds like that's like an awesome community, like a great, like positive, like friend group to be around. You
It
know?
is. It is, man. It truly is. I have some of my own demons that I'm working on. I have a lot of judgment to a lot of people, and you have a sponsor figure in AA or NA, and they take you through the 12 steps. And I had a sponsor in Charlotte who kind of more or less our friendship fell off, and then I had a sponsor here in NA, and we kind of parted ways as well. So I've always had trust issues with male sponsor figures, probably stemming from my trust issues with my dad. So something I need to work on. My therapist is a woman, if that says anything, you know.
Okay,
But it would be good to make my way back into the rooms, man. I
for
don't see why
sure.
not.
Yeah, man. Alcoholism and drug use is, a hell of a fucking battle, and something I've seen my dad, he's on the other end of it, right? But he always says, like, every day you've got to work on yourself and continue to be the best sober version of yourself, even if you aren't drinking anymore. There's always improvement that needs to be made, and there's always that desire. So that was something that was always very profound to me about AA and NA and all those groups.
Well,
Is there
sure.
is there a religious element with NA, or is that like AA's thing and the other
So
groups have
no,
different
yeah. I mean,
approaches?
it's basically the steps are all written the same. They just replace the word drugs with alcohol. And a lot of people, this is the misconception though. It's a really good question that you asked. There's a huge misconception about God and the 12 steps because uh, when my first meeting ever, I remember I was in detox in Charlotte. I was in a state-run detox. Fucking, it was like jail. It sucked. And they had these people they brought in a meeting to the detox. The people that do hospitals and institutions. I used to do that myself. And they came in, and the steps are on the wall, and it says God and power greater than ourselves. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. This is some religious cult. And it's funny because yes, the 12 steps originally in the 30s, AA was started by a group of guys called the Oxford Group, and they were a Christian organization. Their God was Jesus. And that's how AA started, yes. However, today it's quote unquote a God of your understanding, a higher power as you understand him. It's
Yeah,
written like that. So, I mean, I went to church today. I'm kind of seeking Christ, and it's funny because it kind of goes full circle, man. There's a very common saying in AA. Uh, it's well, it says religion is for people who don't want to go to hell. Spirituality is for people who have been there already. So it's like,
mm,
yeah, and so I really associated with that, the last 5 years.
wow,
But now I'm kind of coming back around the circle, and I think I'm getting into religion again because spirituality has only gotten me so far. And I mean, I'm still into like the Buddhism and the Hinduism and the Dharma and the Taoism and all these other types of religions, but it's a very interesting thing, man. Yeah.
totally. No, it's the same thing. I like my father says the same thing. About the God side of it as well. It's not like a Christian God like per se. It's just you need like a higher power to latch on to, and you need to like have like a greater reason almost for this, and like oh, like this person is like pulling through this with me is the way that he described it. And I've always found that like super like interesting. And most people do usually pick like a Christian God in a lot of ways because it is in our society the easiest to conceptualize.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's super interesting, man. Congratulations. How many months or how many years do you have?
Well, so thank you, man, for saying that. I do have about one beer every month or so these days. I've
Okay,
found that I'm able to do that. Alcohol was never really my problem. I do
perfect. Yeah,
know, yeah, I do
that's
know
awesome.
people. A lot of, and that's another thing too, man. A lot of my friends that I had in NA, um, they kind of assume that I'm not doing well because I'm not going to meetings. And if I tell somebody that I had a beer by the pool, they're like, "Oh man, well we'll be waiting for you in AA." It kind of pisses me off, that kind of thing, because it's really not a one size fits all program. But the people who are in the program, who I was a very big AA big book thumper. I was a cult guy. I loved it. And if I saw a friend of mine who was having a beer on the weekends back then when I was brainwashed, I would have said, "Yeah, he'll end up using again. He'll come back into the rooms." But it's really not like that, man. I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't used in close to 2 years, which is awesome for me.
It,
You know?
yeah, I think it is for some people for sure.
Yeah.
Like some people, yeah, but like that shouldn't be the norm. Like you shouldn't assume that of someone. It should kind of just be like it's one of those things. It's like it is a demon for some people, like we've already said. But for you, it clearly isn't. So
Well, I need to be careful because there could be times where if I have more than one, my judgment could get a little bit altered. And so I definitely am very careful when I do it, and I don't drink alone ever. That's one of the things. That's one of the things that I have as far as my boundaries. Is I don't drink alone because I have done that before, and it just never it never makes me end feeling well. So I only have a beer if I'm like playing pool with some friends, or I'm laying by the actual pool with some friends, right? But I know other guys in AA, God love them, like they can't even have a beer because
yeah,
they'll just have 20 after that. They'll turn into fucking Shane Gillis on Joe Rogan.
yeah, yeah,
But there's a
man.
saying, your dad probably knows this, and it's a really good saying. It's, you can take away the alcohol, but you still have the alcoholism, right? So if you take away the alcohol, you still have this ism. If you're an
Yeah,
alcoholic,
dry
drug addict.
alcoholics, right? Yeah,
Exactly, bro. Drinking, near beer queers. But that's a true thing, man. So I do believe, even though I'm not going to 12-step meetings today, I still have to work a program. It has to be whatever you want to call it, God focused or just bettering myself. So I do my therapy, go to church, journal, meditation. These are all things that AA did teach me in the
yeah.
first few years. So I am forever grateful for that, because I wouldn't be doing meditation if I never went to a meeting. I used to think that was for a fucking hippie or a Buddhist on a mountain. Now I can sit and meditate, in my room. So AA definitely saved my life, bro. It gave me my life back. And today I'm enjoying having my life back.
Yeah,
It's what it
yeah.
is.
You've got a very successful podcast. You know, things are looking up for you.
And if I find my way back into the rooms, great. I'm not opposed. You know.
Yeah, totally.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. Man, North Carolina. That is a an interesting part of the country. What's like the demographics like out there? In the area that you're in. I know particularly around where my grandfather lives, it's in like the Asheville area.
Wait,
Just a
that's
lot of
weird.
fucking white people.
Grandfather's in the Asheville area.
Yeah, yeah.
I live in downtown Asheville.
Oh, no way. Wow.
Nice,
Okay.
dude.
Yeah, yeah. That's
You need to come
awesome,
out
man.
here.
Yeah. That is a cool area. I really like the what you guys have going on there. Surprisingly, some pretty good food in the area too. Like usually
Not
when you
bad.
think like North Carolina, you do expect like a certain type of Southern comfort cuisine, but you've got some decent Vietnamese food, decent Thai food. You know, I don't know. I like Asheville. How do you feel about the area?
It's funny that you know about Asheville, dude. Yeah, so I like it here. I've been here 4 years, and the one thing I'll say is my last relapse was right around the election. I was very obsessed because that's just the way my mind works with like Trump and like fucking Proud Boys, and like I got in a really dark place with all that. And the thing about Asheville is it's a very blue city,
Yeah.
in a red state.
Oh
So
yeah.
I used to not be able to look past that, and I moved outside of the city limits around the election because I was just so um, pissed off at
You
liberals. And now today I can appreciate the culture, and I can appreciate the eclectic food that the creative people make. And um, so yeah, man, just like with anything, man, I think I just had to fucking grow up. And I love it here. I really do. I was driving to church this morning, dude, and just having the mountain backdrop on the highway is just awesome as fuck. The climate's cool here, and I did find my group of we'll just say not right wing, but like I have a group of guys who kind of think like me in jujitsu. So I do have that circle. So not everybody I come across is in Antifa, so it's good. You know.
okay? Yeah. No, I do get that vibe there for
Mm.
sure. It is a little like swinging way to the left, like to compensate for just the overall state. And honestly, like a lot of like, there's like a lot of like jerry rigging and stuff like that that goes on in like North Carolina too. So I honestly have no idea how right wing it actually is anymore, despite what the polls say.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
mean, yeah.
it's a cool ass state for sure. Got the Ozark Mountains, you've got the Appalachians, you've got like a great like cross section of different mountain regions.
So I like North
But
Carolina because it has the mountains where I'm at, and then in the middle of the state, you got Charlotte and you got Raleigh. You got big cities, you got football teams, shit like that, and then you got the beach on the far side. So you literally
yeah,
have all three things, and it's not crazy expensive like New York or LA.
no, no, you can get to like a beach town like pretty easy. Like a lot of North Carolina cities end up on like top 10 cheapest beach towns in the country.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little cold for like the water. Like I think it's right on the crisp, but you can still find some great days during the summer. But it's not like a all season beach town, I think, really.
No, not
Still get
really.
some, yeah,
Yeah, it gets cold.
sucks. It's like New Jersey in a lot of ways. It's where I'm from. So I was like born and raised Jersey. So like Jersey, beaches there, summer, always a hit. People love them, right? But come like September, like whole town basically shuts down.
So what, like
Nobody's at
Jersey
their
Shore?
houses. Yeah, 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 yeah. So like there's a bunch of different spots. You got like Sea Isle, you got Wildwood. There's a few different big beaches.
So,
Um, shit. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like boardwalks, and then yeah, just all shuts down. Which I feel like you could probably shut down a bit later. And I think South Carolina like is pretty much year-round beaches. So you're right on the cusp of it.
it's funny because I'm actually
Yeah.
closer to Charleston than I am Wilmington.
Yeah,
I'm in
Asheville's
North
right on the
Carolina.
border there. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, it's on the board. Exactly, exactly. So what did you do? I'm actually from New York originally, man. I was born in New York, and then I moved to Charlotte when I was 8. When did you move
Okay.
from Jersey to Arkansas?
I let me give you the whole rundown then,
Hey, give me the
basically, because
rundown, dude.
yeah. All right. So I was born and raised in Jersey. I lived there till I was around 10 years old. And then my parents, well, my dad specifically got a job in Colorado. So I ended up moving to a small town in southwest Colorado called Durango. Really small, just but like deep in the mountains. So I got really into like skiing, mountain biking, did some fencing. Yeah, so like middle school, high school, I basically lived in Colorado for like 8 years. And then for college, I decided to go back to the Northeast and I went to school upstate New York. And then from there, just with jobs, I lived in like DC, San Francisco, San Diego, Boston, New Orleans, Mexico, and
What?
Arkansas. Yeah, so I've lived in a bunch of different spots, just kind of traveling for work and such. So
What's your favorite spot you've
um,
lived in so far?
honestly, man, it's Arkansas. That's why I'm back here. I
Oh
moved here
shit.
without like a real job. It's just like I had a job that I was working that was fully remote, and I could live anywhere. And I decided to come back here because it's quiet, you know. I live in like a similar like ecosystem where it's like a blue city inside of a red state. So
Okay.
you kind of get the best of both worlds there. And even
Right.
still, it's like not incredibly liberal here. It's like just enough, you know, enough where you get some like good food, not enough where you get like the Antifa protests.
Yeah.
So
A
it's
little middle ground.
yeah, it's pretty cool. So I got like a pretty nice house here with some of my friends, and we just kind of they were just hanging out.
Dude, that is dope. Where did you go to college
Yeah.
in New York?
I went to a school called Rochester Institute of Technology,
Nice.
which I ended up dropping out of after 2 years because fuck college.
Yeah, dude.
Just dog shit, man. Like that. Yeah, I mean, in college it was a lot of fun, right? Like I was like just drinking with friends for the most part, wasn't really going to classes. And if I was, like, it was just like barely enough to like get passing grades and things, but still got like a 1 point GPA, was on like academic probation my second to last semester, just fucking terrible student.
Mm.
I cheated my way through high school basically. So like when I got to college, it was just like, yeah, I'm going to drop out. So I need to figure shit the fuck out, was basically my thought.
So what do you
Like
do that
I
you're
like kind of convinced myself, like, oh, maybe it'll be okay. Maybe I can like actually learn how to like take notes and stuff. But it was just like, no, I'm not doing that. So
so you did what do you okay, that's because I went to college when I was 17 is when I graduated high school. I was a young bloomer and
okay.
I dropped out too, man. I was fucking 17 years old and I moved to Wilmington, North Carolina to go to community college out of town. Like dumbest thing I probably
Yeah.
could ever did, but I learned a lot. Anyways, what do you do for work that lets you work remote, like wherever you want to live?
Great question. So basically, when I was 19 years old, it was my second year in college. So I did my first year, 18, and I just wrapped up my second year. And I was doing an entrepreneurial program at my school. So my school was basically paying me to build a business, and were like giving me like mentorship and things like that. And while I was doing that, I ended up discovering another business opportunity, which I actually did for around 2 years after that, where I was doing freelance consulting for mobile apps. So I'm a software engineer professionally, and that's I've been coding since I was the age of 9. Got my first development job at 15. Even when I was at school, I did development jobs. So I got used to like, coding professionally, and I was able to have individual clients pay me to build like phone apps, like mobile apps for them. They maybe they wanted a to-do list app, maybe they wanted a weather app, maybe they wanted a group communication app, like a group text messaging app. So I would work on like things like that for them. And eventually I took a job at a company in Arkansas, randomly enough. Um, Basically, after doing that for 2 years, having clients stop paying me, running out of money, I was also, just spending an insane amount of money on weed every month. I think I was spending like 3 grand a month on edibles. So
Jesus
like I was just
Christ, dude.
living like a crazy fucking life. And yeah, I took like a real full-time job, barely paid me anything, but like I just needed something to, like pay the bills basically. So I worked for like building a mobile app for them on like managing like truck shipments across like the country.
Damn.
They're like a logistics company, and then like was working in trucking for around a year, and then worked in like Department of Defense with where I was building like security systems for like private sector like private sector Department of Defense buildings. Like the Smithsonian museums used it. A lot of like schools across the country used the HID
Damn.
detection system. So it was like a big project I was working on there. I did that for around 6 months and then worked at for another year. And yeah, I guess this is like I'm just doxing myself on this. Maybe beep some of those company names if it isn't too much editing.
If you want me to, I
But
can.
yeah, you could just beep some of the names maybe. But
Okay.
other than that, yeah, that's pretty much what I did. Yeah, I just worked a bunch of companies like and just kind of hopped around, moved to different cities whenever they asked me to. And yeah, now I'm building my own crypto company.
Oh shit, man. So you're actually one of the guys that like doesn't need college. Like you dropped out, but it's working out better than it would have probably.
Yeah, yeah, or it would have just been the same, Like I was always going to do this,
Just would have had
I was
debt.
always going to Yeah, which I still do, believe it or not. Yeah. Even 2 years, man, it's like crazy how much a semester of college is.
Yeah, it
Like
is.
even like especially for a private school.
Oh yeah, private school. Oh man. Yeah, I'll definitely bleep those companies out, but that's interesting. So your app is I downloaded it actually. How do you say it? Focher?
Yep, that's the name. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I have that. What is that really I haven't really explored it yet. So tell me about that a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. So Focher is a an app for basically like capturing verifiable content quickly. So if there's something that you want to capture in a way that says that it truly happened in the world, and you want to add the verification of like it was taken in this location, it was captured directly from a phone camera, it wasn't uploaded to a system, it wasn't edited, and add those tags so that they can be like visible to people that want to view your photo. Focher is the fastest and easiest way to do that, and it's stored on the blockchain, so it can't be deleted. We're really focused on people that, specifically like journalists or people that are experiencing breaking news around them, to be able to report and like say like, hey, these things are truly happening around me, and add good faith to their arguments because there are people that are sharing clips of things happening during like the war in Ukraine, for example,
Mm.
and other different protests that happen around the country, and people find that that footage was from a battle in Turkey like
Right.
7 years ago
Right.
or something crazy like that. So we're just giving tools to the people that are doing legitimate reporting to be able to say like this is legitimate. It's the core of what we're doing as a business.
So that's fucking sick. So you basically use your resources from building apps and then your business knowledge, obviously, and then taking some interest in like the journalism aspect, and you just created this app yourself. You're the founder, creator.
Yeah, yeah. I have another co-founder that's been doing a lot of like the blockchain side of things. It also helps me out on the mobile side because we just have a lot of tech. And then I have another co-founder that, handles a lot of the relationships with like the journalists and the business side of it. So between the three of us, we have a lot of work to do.
And that's fucking sweet, dude. That's good, man.
Damn.
Um, what else? I shout out to Tiberius, whatever. He's listening in live, and this is the first
Yeah.
guest we've had on a podcast. Well, second, kind of. My friend called me while I was recording from Iceland, so I had him on the air. But this is the first official guest. Patrick, anything else you want to say to anybody listening?
No, man. No, just get ready for those at everyone's. If you found this podcast through an at everyone in the Tim Dillon server, get ready for another one because I'm sending it.
Fuck
We're
yeah,
gonna we're gonna get this thing to 1,000 listeners for sure.
let's do
It's
it.
only a matter of time.
Let's do it, man. I love it. I'm glad to have you, and it's just really cool to meet all these people with different hobbies, interests, backgrounds, skills, and yeah, man, I love it. Thanks so much for coming on, brother.
For sure, man. Peace.